Hey students, this is Mr. Sanchez again with Math Lesson Module 7, Lesson 17. Now today we're going to focus on measurement. You all remember measurement from the beginning of the school year, right? I'm sure you do. Remember when we used rulers to measure things around our classroom and outside in our environment? So we are going to use the same skills that we learned to solve some problems. Now, I know we've been talking about money this week, and now this is a bit of a shift, but we're still just thinking about things that we see in the real world where we can use our math skills to solve a problem or find out some information. Our objective, what we want to learn, what we want to be able to do. I can develop estimation strategies by applying prior knowledge of length and using mental benchmarks. What does that mean? I can develop estimation strategies. What are estimation strategies? Well, we learned about estimation before, right? So when we estimate, are we trying to find the exact right answer, or are we trying to get as close to the answer as we can, as fast as we can? We're trying to get close to the answer quickly instead of trying to solve to find the exact answer. So for example, if we want to measure something, we can take a ruler, put it up next to something like a plant or flower, measure it, and say, okay, it's exactly 2.5 inches. But when we're estimating, instead, we just want to get an idea, and we might say, oh, it's about 3 inches, but it's not exact. So we're going to develop estimation strategies by applying prior knowledge of length and using mental benchmarks. What is our prior knowledge? Prior knowledge are the things that we already know. So think about what you already know about measurement, about length. And mental benchmarks means things that we have in our head. So we know about inches, centimeters, meters, rulers, yardsticks. We know about measurement. So we can take what we know about measurement, we have an idea about how much a centimeter is and how much a meter is, or an inch versus a foot. We know that some measurements are bigger than others. So we're going to take all of that knowledge and try to estimate. First, an application problem. Benjamin measures his forearm and records the length as 15 inches. So our forearm is the part of our arm between our wrist, our hand, the bottom of our hand, and our elbow. So think about the bottom of your hand and your elbow. What's in between that? That is your forearm. So Benjamin measures his forearm and records the length as 15 inches. So how long is his forearm? 15 inches. Then he measures his upper arm and realizes it's the same. So his upper arm is between his elbow and his shoulder. So think about on your own body, where is your elbow and where is your shoulder? And what's the part of your arm in between your elbow and your shoulder? So that part was the same length as his forearm between his hand and his elbow. So our first question, A, how long is one of Benjamin's arms? How long is his entire arm? Remember, he measured it in 2 different parts. So pause your video, press the pause button, take a few minutes, and try to answer the question, how long is one of Benjamin's arms? After that, we can try to answer question B. What is the total length of both of Benjamin's arms together? All right, pause your video. All right, now that you've had some time to work and figure out what you think is the answer, let's try to work it out together. Okay, so we see a tape diagram. It has how many parts, how many boxes? 4. Why they drew 4 boxes? How long is one of Benjamin's arms? Oh, because how many arms does he have? 2 arms, right? and he measured each arm in how many parts? 2 parts. He measured his forearm between his hand and his elbow, and his upper arm between his elbow and his shoulder. So 2 boxes together, each of these equals 1 arm, and each of these equals another arm. Okay, so we used a tape diagram strategy to solve here. 15 plus 15, so each part, the forearm and the upper arm, we could even write FA for forearm and UA for upper arm. And we know that together, those make 30 inches. So 1 arm, how long is one of Benjamin's arms? The answer to question A, 30. 15 plus 15 equals 30. One of Benjamin's arms is 30 inches, and we have our sentence here. Then, part B. What is the total length of both of Benjamin's arms together? So he has 2 arms. We know that 1 arm equals how much? 30. So if he has 2 arms, how much would both arms equal in length together? 30 plus 30 equals 60. The total length of both Benjamin's arms is 60 inches. So if he puts his arms together, they make 60 inches. All right. Let's talk about why it is helpful to understand mental benchmarks when people say things such as, your new teacher is about 6 feet tall. Draw a line about 6 inches long, or the room is about 10 yards long. So we don't need to do that. We're just thinking about why it's helpful to understand mental benchmarks, like your new teacher is about 6 feet tall, which none of your teachers are that tall. Draw a line about 6 inches. So, in class, sometimes we tell you draw a line. And usually we might show you on the board, but your paper is a lot smaller than the board. So on the board, our line might be really long, but that's just so everyone in the class can see it, right? On your paper, your line might only be 6 inches. But if your teacher says, draw a line that's 6 inches long, what if you don't know how long an inch is? Now, you could take out your ruler. Maybe you don't have a ruler, and you don't always want to take out a ruler. And we said draw a line about 6 inches long. We did not say exactly. So you want to use your mental benchmarks to estimate. All right.